What's up, guys? This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. Thank you for joining me once again, my friends. Hope all is well with you. Now, guys, if you've ever wondered why I spend so much time talking about the kids, my son, his friends, kids in general, and how important it is to look out for them in their development and what it is that we're feeding them, what it is that we're giving them to aspire to. It's because of stories like this, guys, and I want to share it with you because it just goes as a reminder that not one of our children are disposable. Not one of them are unimportant. And if you're a child who's watching this, you are important because, believe it or not, at your age, when you're a child, your your potential is infinite. Do you understand what that means? It means that you could do anything. You could accomplish anything if you have the right opportunities, if you have the right people who are looking out for you. And this includes all of us in this world. We could all do a better job, I think, without sounding too preachy, but you all know that it's true. We could all do a better job of creating an environment that is good for children to be able to flourish in. All right, so let's get into this story right here. But first, I want you to listen to this clip that I have here from PBS.com regarding this exceptional young man. Check it out. All right, listen up.
Most 14-year-old boys spend their time playing video games or skateboarding, but not Heyman Bakella. He spent the last year developing a bar of soap that could treat skin cancer. It was the winning entry at the annual 3M Young Scientist Challenge, considered one of the top science and engineering competitions for 5th through 8th graders. Heyman's taking a little break from his work to join us here in the studio. Heyman, tell us about this bar of soap. How does it work?
Sure, so SCTS, which stands for Skin Cancer Treating Soap, is basically this compound-based bar of soap that's charged with different cancer-fighting chemicals to help treat different forms of skin cancer. Pretty much the way that it works is it uses this drug called imidazoquinolines, and it wraps it around this lipid-based nanoparticle. And the concept here is that even though the soaps and suds will be washed away by the soap, there will still be all of the medicinal components stuck there by the lipid-based nanoparticle. And this is kind of a more new and novel approach to fighting against skin cancer.
And how did you come up with the idea of a bar of soap
14
as the
years
delivery
old.
product for this medicine?
Yeah, I think that my main goal here was not only to fight against skin cancer, but to find a more affordable and accessible approach to it. And so with that, you really need to find a completely different way towards the traditional form of treating skin cancer, which really is surgery or radiation therapy or something like that. And so it led me to think of things like topical application, like a cream or a bar of soap, because those are a lot more affordable and are a lot more accessible too. So that's what really got me to that bar of soap as the final product.
So you want it to be affordable and accessible, and this is not just a project that's one-off. You want to develop this.
Exactly, I do, and I actually have plans that by 2028 I hope to turn this passion project into more than that. I hope to turn it into a non-profit organization so that I can provide equitable and accessible skin cancer treatment to truly as many people as possible.
Have you always been interested in science?
Okay. All right. Once again, 14 years old, talking like that, 14 years old, doing the research to try to find an affordable, effective treatment for skin cancer. I think that is freaking awesome. And you guys have seen the thumbnail. You can see that Heyman, and the funny thing about this is it's spelled Heman. He-Man. And then little young Heyman is quite a he-man. And I look forward to seeing what he's going to do in the future. But young Heyman, as you can see in the thumbnail, is a black child. A black child. And the reasons why that is worth remarking about is because if you go on to social media, it seems like we spend an awful disproportionate amount of time highlighting the terrible things that black children do, and everything. Everyone wants to just show them being lawless, without their fathers, contributing nothing to society. I've actually seen this in comment sections where it would say that black people, black children, black women, black men contribute nothing to society. Nothing is what they will say. I've seen this way too often. If it was just a one-off here or there, you wouldn't hear me commenting on it. But unfortunately, I've seen it with my own eyes. So when you see stories like this, I think that it's very helpful to remember that there's a danger to writing off a generation. There's a danger to writing off a certain section of people because you never know where humanity's best hope might come from. Now, I want to read a little bit more about this on USA.com or USA Today.com. And it says here, 14-year-old who invented soap to treat skin cancer is named America's top young scientist. Heyman Bekele, a ninth grader from Virginia, was named America's top young scientist after he invented a 50-cent bar of soap to treat skin cancer. Not expensive at all. I'm going to get into that in a minute. I got a point to make about that. You know, I just have to do it. America's top young scientist is a 14-year-old who invented a soap that treats skin cancer. Heyman Bekele, a ninth grader from Annandale, Virginia, won the prestigious award from 3M and Discovery Education, considered one of the country's top middle school science competitions. Heyman says, "I believe that young minds can make a positive impact on the world," he said in his submission for the award. "I've always been interested in biology and technology, and this challenge gave me the perfect platform to showcase my ideas," he said. Now, what is America's Top Young Scientist competition? Well, Heyman spent the last 4 months competing against 9 other finalists to be named America's Top Young Scientist. The competition was created to help students between the 5th and 8th grades create an innovative idea to change their world. In addition to the prestigious title, young scientists who win the award will get a $25,000 cash prize. Woo! That's what I'm talking about, baby. That's all the incentive that I need. I'll put on my glasses and my lab coat, but it's too late for me. Young Heyman, 14 years old. Heyman won this year's grand prize at 3M's headquarters in St. Paul, Minnesota on October 9th and 10th, according to a news release announcing the award. Shreepriya Kelbavi, a ninth grader from San Jose, California, won second prize for developing a cost-effective patch that allows for self-automated medication delivery without pills or needles. Cost-effective. Sarah Wang, a seventh grader from Andover, Massachusetts, came in third place for developing a glove that can detect epileptic seizures with common hand movements. Okay, well, Shreepriya and Sarah each won $2,000, while the students who placed 4th through 10th won $1,500 gift cards. All right, so what I want you to keep in mind there, guys, is that you notice how these kids are trying to come up with cost-effective treatments or cures to these diseases that have been around forever. I can't help but thinking, maybe it's the pessimist in me, I can't help but thinking that one of the reasons why our pop culture is the way it is, right? Tying it into the things that I always talk about, guys. This, remember, is the reasons why I go as strongly as I go when it comes to scrutinizing our pop culture and what it is that we're giving our kids. Is there a reason why we invest so much money into this dumbed down entertainment industry to shovel off to our kids to make them mindless consumers? Is there a reason why we do that when our children, if left to their own devices and the right type of investment, will ultimately come up with and think about and ponder these ways to make humanity better? You know, you find that interesting. I do anyway. I find it very interesting, the contrast here, because I've always said that. I've always said, when I'm looking at for example, the state of hip hop right now, I always say to myself, well, coming from the hip hop culture as I did, I wrote rhymes, when I was younger. I thought I was going to get into the industry and all that. Thank God I never did. But I would always say to myself, when I look at the progression or the digression or the breaking down of hip hop these days, that's not natural. It's not natural for a young mind to want to talk about killing people, to want to talk about materialism, to want to talk about sexism. That's not the way a young mind works. And if we weren't as pessimistic as we are in this society, like I said before, we would understand that children are made of some of the best things out there, some of the best intentions out there. Now, they're only human because they need guidance from us. But the assumption there was that we would be coming with the best of intentions to be able to guide them in a way that would encourage them to want to have this sense of purpose that you see from Heyman and the other children here. So why do we invest so much money and time and effort and programming into guiding these children down the wrong path when they could be coming up with these things? Well, I think that the answer is in what every last one of those children said, those finalists. They're attempting to come up with something that is for the benefit of everybody, that is cost effective. You know what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with this? This industry is one of exploitation. It's one of money making for profit. You heard what Heyman just said. He wants to do something that's non-profit. Only a 14-year-old would say something like that because he's naive. Poor Heyman has a lot to learn when he starts going forward into the industry and he realizes that the treatment is infinitely worth more than the cure. There are some people out there that say that cancer has already been cured, but we will be denied that because they make billions upon trillions of dollars with this treatment that unfortunately is not always effective or leads to side effects that also end up having to be treated, which makes even more money. Okay, when we talk about the jab, for example, lots of money there, lots of money, but nobody wants to talk about cures except for these young minds here who are coming up. So I think that it's a great thing, and I think that it's something that we should be paying attention to, and there's a lot to be learned from Heyman. He-Man is what I would call him. I'm sure he gets that all the time, and those children who are with him here. And kudos, for these programs that are out there who are encouraging children to think this way. If they could work hand in hand with parents, right? If parents would spend half as much money bringing their children to these types of programs than they do bringing them to the latest video game console. And believe me, I'm taking the heat. I'm taking a hit for that too. Because God knows I put a PS5 in my son's hand. I buy him games all the time and everything. Shout out to my son. He's brilliant as well. But he's not doing anything like this. But what he is doing, I really do appreciate, I respect, and I'm trying my best. But this is a reminder to myself, first and foremost, all right? Not just pointing fingers at anybody else. Our children are great. They can be great. They're beautiful. They don't have to be a reflection of who we are, which is how we were made by the generation before us that didn't know any better. So I say kudos, I say congratulations to Heyman Bekele and all of the other finalists. And everything. I will definitely be watching you with great interest over the years, young man, and everybody else out there. I just wish the best for all of them, because obviously the best for all of them will ultimately be the best for all of us. All right, guys, get in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about all of this. You can like, you can share, you can subscribe. Thank you for your support. Thank you for the super thanks. I'll check you out on the next one. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.